Okay, friends, Mark Holmes here. We're going to try this one more time. On my end, it sounds great. I'm not sure exactly why it's not coming through on your end. So I'm trying to check it out and see how it sounds when it comes through, see if I can diagnose what the problem is. Problem is I'm old and technology challenged. That's what the problem is. Hopefully this squares the problem and fixes it, but we'll have to just wait a second and see what your comments are. Oh, sounds great. Okay, don't know what happened with it originally, but hopefully that's squared away. Apologize on that. It's still a new system for me. I'm still getting all the bugs and stuff out, and I'm technology challenged, so forgive me. So hopefully this won't screw up the show too much, and hopefully all you guys will tune back in who had left. What a weekend. It was kind of crazy for me. I lost my aunt this weekend, and both of my parents have the flu really bad, so I'm worried about them, and so on. And my mother has lost a bunch of her family members, so thoughts and prayers to my mom and everything else. We've got our drawing for our boy. I'm really out of it. We have our drawing tonight at 9:30 for the Tyrone Crawford T-shirt. So we'll be doing that in about 15 minutes. We also have a guest coming in tonight. He live streamed with me during the Eagles game on Sunday, John Gartner. And what he's going to be doing with us is he's going to actually be breaking down a lot of our draft picks and stuff. So it's going to be great because we got somebody else to kind of bring in here and work with us, so that way we're going to be able to bring you more coverage and stuff as we start building towards the draft. And news for our Cowboys. We all know that we have a lot of coaching holes to fill. Well, we filled the first one with Paul Alexander, who was let go by the Cincinnati Bengals, offensive line coach slash assistant head coach of offense. Had been with them for 23 years. Personally, I think 23 years is too long for anybody to be in one spot. But then again, what do I know? I'm just a guy with a day job and a voodoo doll. But in thinking about our Dallas Cowboys and the changes in coaching staff, because literally we need a special teams coach, we need a tight ends coach, we need a quarterback coach, we need a defensive back coach, a wide receiver coach, and possibly a defensive coordinator. That's actually quite a few position coaches, and I'm trying to think positive. I've been negative Nelly. I've been, pounding my head against the wall, thinking about the Cowboys and the fact that we've got Jason Garrett coming back. Wow, Space Cowboy, thank you very much. You just did a video analysis on Alexander. He runs the power blocking scheme compared to, okay. That may help out definitely. I'm going to definitely have to check it out. Shout out to Space Cowboy, who's now also added into the drawing. So I need to go ahead and add him in before we do the thing tonight. The thing that I was sitting here thinking about, because I always try and find something positive. In my life, I'd rather be positive than negative, and hope for the best, expect the worst, and you'll never be disappointed. Space Cowboy is now added to the list. Anybody else that does a super chat before we do the drawing tonight will be added as well. You normally have the coach who's coaching down to his assistants and things. But with so many different position coaches being changed, maybe, just maybe, we'll get some coaching in both directions. Maybe what it'll be fresh sets of eyes and people who have done things differently that might say, hey, Scott Linehan, when we were in such and such, we used to do da-da-da-da-da. And that kind of worked out really well for us. Maybe we could try something like that. And maybe some of the coaching will go both ways. You understand my point, at least there? I'm trying to think positive here. I'm still looking at the fact that you got Minnesota, who had a miracle win, and shout out to the Vikings, yesterday with Mike Zimmer, a guy who we kicked to the curb, against New Orleans with Sean Payton, who left us as well. And watching these guys successful in the playoffs and successful with their teams, while we have just kind of been stuck in that rut. and that's kind of bothersome, and it's kind of depressing. Well, actually, it is depressing. It's not kind of. It definitely is depressing. But there's not too much we can do about it. We've got the coaches we've got, and we know that Jerry Jones isn't going to change too much. But we'll have to see how it works out next year and hope for the best. Thomas Chavez, there you go. The Russians hacked my channel, and that's why we had problems and stuff. Like I said, forgive me, it's all new equipment, from the fundraisers we've been doing. I've been actually building some new stuff for the set and things, and I'm still getting the feel for getting everything set up. Last week's show, I was actually really, really pale. Today, I may have the bit rates a little too high, and it may be a little bit freezing, but we'll get it worked out over the next few days or so. Bowman Bones, that would be great if we had plenty of wins and possibly a Super Bowl. It seems like every year we start thinking about Super Bowl, not to even make it to the NFC Championship game. To be one of 3 teams in the NFC, not to make it to this, to the NFC Championship over the last 20 years. Us, the Redskins, and the Lions, and that's not a list you want to be on. The steak, well, those 2 steaks that were actually cut up in pieces, and we ended up making like steak bowls, and the stuff was fucking incredible. Excuse my language, but it was really, really incredible. And I'm doing this new diet. I'm up to 270 pounds, and I've got to lose some weight. The off season is now here. It's time to get back in shape. But before I came on here tonight, you guys heard about Cole Beasley's doing music, as well as Rico doing music. Well, Rico was just Instagramming literally about 15 minutes before I started doing this program. And I got to tell you, let's get a little sample of exactly what Rico Gathers was doing. And let's think about how his concussion is.
Then I got that beat drop. Y'all wanna see me freestyle? Yeah. I don't really play. I really don't play. Y'all see me play. Y'all see me play. What more can I say? What more can I say? Y'all seen me play. Don't act like you ain't never seen me play, boy. You heard me? Don't act like you ain't never seen me play before, boy. Y'all gonna stop y'all gonna stop disrespecting me, dog. For real, y'all gonna put some fucking respect on my motherfucking name, bruh. On God. Like, nigga, this ain't no motherfucking game, bruh. Put some fucking respect on my name, you heard me? Put some respect on my fucking number, too. 80, bitch. Go buy that bitch right now. You did? Go to the motherfucking NFL.com, NFLstore.com, whatever. Go buy that fucking 80 jersey. On God. You did? You gonna wish you had in the future. I'm tearing every motherfucker up this year. You did? Any motherfucking safety could get it. Any linebacker.
Yeah, so that was Rico. So I guess the concussion is okay. He's putting it out there that he doesn't want people hating on him for his music and being able to do this and stuff. I'm hoping that he can come out and play as well as he's rapping out there. Michael, of course, says, thank God that Jason Witten is still here because he's not sure what Rico's going to do.
No, with the coaching staff.
Yeah, what the coaching staff's going to do. Yeah. He should stick to football. I'm seeing some of your comments. That's my dog. Okay. Give some to Cole Beasley, too. Okay.
Well, he does give a shout out to Cole Beasley.
I think we should adjust the system to be. Well, That would be an interesting thing. You know, a lot of people are looking at Dak Prescott and saying, you know, he just regressed and he needs to do this and he needs to do that. Taking a look around the whole offense, there were a lot of problems all the way across the board. From wide receivers not getting open, from Dak Prescott not getting some reads and getting balls some places that we shouldn't have been, but between the offensive line not doing as well. Also, when you're looking at some of the other things that happened as far as like with Zeke Elliott and things, collectively there was so many different things that ended up happening. And Chaz, we just added you to the list again. As far as the draft goes, guys, I see some of you guys are talking about the draft already, and I'm just going to say we have something special planned for the draft. And I'm curious to see how many of you guys will actually be there at the draft as well, because I'm pretty positive that the Joe Boo Sports Report will definitely be there. Yeah, Rum is definitely calling Joe Boo's name today. Actually, with the day that we've had here and the screw up here with the microphone, definitely could use that shot of rum. You can hear TV now. What's up? I don't have a TV on down here. I hear nothing in the headphones but myself. Why do we make changes on the defensive side and keep Matt? Well, Matt looks like he's going to be going to Indianapolis. And you've got Rod Marnelli, who's actually contemplating retiring. So we're not sure if he's going to be back or not, which will be interesting to see who comes in. If he does go, I'm hoping that they look at Jack Del Rio. Sorry, I can hear good. I'm glad you can hear really good. That's great to hear. Well, Brian, I thought we should have cleaned house this year. If they don't make the playoffs next year and do more than just making the playoffs, I think they need to clean house. You can't waste players and talent like we have. You know, we had, good Lord, Tony Romo. We had DeMarcus Ware. We had a lot of great guys who should have had an opportunity to compete for rings. But between some of the mismanagement, because we overpaid some guys and we ended up not having enough quality people to fill in. You know, it's great to have a Ferrari, but if you don't have a road to drive it on, it's not going to do you shit. And that's kind of where our team has been. We've had such a top-heavy salary cap that once you get past those first 8 or 10 guys, you've got nothing to back it up. Yeah, Joe Boo gets rum. Jetro gets nothing. Nothing for those Eagle fans out there. Oh, God. It was so crazy with all these Eagle fans right now. I'm losing my mind. If they go to the Super Bowl, oh, Lordy. Michael brought out an incredible point to me, and I talked about it earlier in a video yesterday with him. If it ends up being New England versus the Eagles, a la a repeat of the Jacksonville Super Bowl in 2004, who do you root for? I can't stand New England. I hate the Eagles. What are we going to do? Brice Butler. From Brice Butler says it's clear as day that Tony Romo was. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. I wish we could get Tony Romo back to work with him, but Tony Romo's not going to leave the booth. Shout out to Jason Remo. You're added to the list. All right. You have to root for New England. God, I just don't know. You know, and here's what's going to be interesting. Hopefully I'll have this stuff straight by then. But starting next Friday, I will be actually heading for Minnesota in the cold weather that is to start doing some work at the Super Bowl and start Super Bowl coverage. So Friday night next week, we will be broadcasting live from Minneapolis. So that's a little tad bit for you guys. And we're going to be doing something even bigger for the draft. We're already working on that and things like that. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. But it is time, guys. Let me grab something real quick because it's time for the drawing. because I forgot to have it over here. All right. Here we go, guys. We have the Tank Lawrence autographed Joe Boo t-shirt is going out tonight. And Michael, can I get you to actually pick this? So, this is all of you guys who have donated to the channel, done super chats, and have made this channel what it is. So, Michael's picking it. Drum roll, please. Okay, here we go. All right. Domino. D-O-M-I-N-O. Domino. Okay. I'm not sure who Domino is, but hopefully Domino, I don't know why I don't have a last name. It must be just a super chat, and I'll go back through and try and see if I can find that super chat. But Domino, congratulations. Email me so that way I can get you the the Tank Lawrence jersey. Sorry, it's just, my mind is just screwed up. So congratulations on that. Let me type that in here. D-O-M. All right. So next week we'll do another drawing, and the proceeds are going to upgrading the channel. And as you can see, I didn't seem like I did too good. Congratulations, Domino. I think it's Domino or Domina. My handwriting sucks, so I'll go back through the super chats and also the donations and figure out who it is. But it must have been a super chat. Oh, there you are, right there, Domino. Congratulations. Okay, so I did say it right, Domino. Email me at cowboysmark94 with your address, and we will get it in the mail. Right now, somewhere between here and England is the Bill Bates shirt, which is headed to Mark Sampson's last week's winner. So for me, guys, I appreciate all of the donations and everything else that you guys have done. I really want to do some special things for this channel, getting it up so we do better broadcasts, definitely better than we're doing right now tonight. And your donations are definitely helping doing that. So when you get this, be sure to go ahead and send me a picture of it so that way I can see its new home. All right, so we've had Joe Boo's stupid cousin fall out. Okay, Vikings will not beat the Eagles. We'll have to wait and see on that one. I'm hoping that they do, because I really don't want to hear from those Eagle fans for another 2 weeks after that. So, what's up, Domino's Pizza? I like that. Here we go. Hold on. Spilled a little bit of Joe Boo's rum. Fitzpatrick from Alabama, that wouldn't be a bad one. I don't know that we're going to be able to get him. I think he may be gone before we can get to him. But, and I'm hoping that we're not planning on trading up. We have so many holes and so many needs that we need to use all those picks wisely. And if anything, we need to try and use those picks and try and develop and get a few extra ones out of it. I see $2. Yes, there's actually Joe Boo's cousin who's actually here. And you can take a look at him. He's not too bright, so understand that Joe... Okay, actually, I spilled some rum on my keyboard. I'm having a hard time tonight, guys. I apologize.
And the only thing else I got to say is...
There we go. And that is Jetro, the Eagle fan cousin of Joe Boo. And he's got his Super Bowl ring. So we'll see how that works out for those Eagles. As I'm reading some of these comments, some of them look a little bit foul. I see we got a few Eagle fans in here. Okay. Party foul. Let's go Vikings. Jags can't score enough on the Eagles. Well, I tell you what, that defense of the Jags, I mean, they didn't show it this week. That was really a track meet. But the Jags, Bartles actually scored quite a few points, and I think they did a damn good job on that one. Don't count that one out just yet. Especially the thing for the Jags is, you could have said the same thing about the New York Giants twice in the Super Bowl. The Jags can put pressure on the quarterback, and Tom Brady does not like to get hit. So it's possible, maybe not likely, but it's possible that they put enough pressure on it and get a win. Like I said, I'm not ready to go ahead and say that they don't have a chance. Everybody's got a chance. When you looked at that Minnesota game, it was kind of incredible because that game took me back to some of the games of my youth. You know, seeing when you guys see highlights of the NFL, you know, like the Hail Mary or the Holy Roller or the Ghost to the Post or the catch. I lived through all these things. I remember them happening in real games, and that one, the Miracle in Minnesota, that was one of the most incredible ways to win a game when it seemed like all was lost. So don't ever count a team out just yet. You never know what may end up happening for a team. And it's football. It's not always the best team. It's the team that plays best at the right time. I'm curious. I'm going to have Tom on later on this week. Tom Donnelly, our Eagle buddy, who thought that the Eagles were going to score 31 points in that game. And I told him it was going to be a low-scoring one. I'm curious how he's feeling about that one. And after seeing that game and seeing Minnesota put up as many points as they did, I bet you all of a sudden he's thinking a little bit differently because you always thought of, okay, you know, Case Keenum, he's not that great of a quarterback. You know, they can't score. They got a great defense, but they can't score. Well, they showed you they can score against New Orleans, which is a pretty good team. So I'm not ready to go ahead and say that they definitely have it made and are ready to go on that one. Oh, yeah. You know, when you talk about Church, here's the thing that you look at with Jaguars right now is the second-guessing game. Because you look at Church playing safety, we could have used a safety that played like that for most of the season, don't you think? And when you look at Jalen Ramsey, that makes you wonder, it's like, damn, should we have drafted Zeke Elliott? Or should we have taken a running back later in the draft? Because, you know, running backs last but so long. Sorry, I'm trying to get the rum off of here. Running backs only last but so long. But cornerbacks are something that kind of lasts and have a long longevity. And you can definitely say that we have had a drought as far as it goes with cornerbacks of having guys that are playmakers. You know, not to say anything against Brandon Carr or Morris Claiborne, but they're not Jalen Ramsey. So you can kind of look back and say, okay, maybe we were better off there. And then you can also look back and say Miles Jack as versus Jalen Smith and say, did we make the right moves? Like I said, it's easy to do that now because, of course, it's Monday morning quarterback. But you kind of have to wonder on that one. I Am Infinite. Okay. Well, here's what's cool. One of our trolls, I Am Infinite, actually gave us a donation. He was actually added to the thing in here too. So I appreciate that as well, my man. Well, that's going to be the big question is, with Zeke Elliott, is he in fact going to be out of trouble? Has he learned a lesson? Is the NFL done going after him? Stay tuned. We'll have to wait and see on that one. I'm hoping that that is the end of it, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay. Trying to pop the chat out here because I can't see all of those. There we go. Fire Jason. I'd love to fire Jason Garrett, but unfortunately, we have no control over that one. Well, the question is, Justin, as far as Jalen Smith goes, is Will that foot heal completely? I believe he's got the instincts, he's got the skills and everything there. That's definitely not the problem. The problem is this as healthy as he's going to be? Is he going to forever be on one leg? And only time will tell on that one. So we'll have to wait and see. Lost the chat. There we go. Well, yeah, the offense is still built for originally Tony Romo. Here we go. Let's see if we can get this right here. This is welcome, John, to the show here. And how you doing, John? Can you hear me? Boy, we're having a rough time tonight. John? Okay. John, can you hear me? John? Okay, we lost John. We actually have John Gardner, who's going to be working with us if we can start getting this stuff. And I apologize tonight. Tonight is just not the right night, apparently. We're not getting anything that's working right. Okay, hopefully John will call back. John was actually going to be talking about some draft as we Cowboys. We are not talking about playoffs because we're not in the playoffs. We'll be talking about some playoffs, hopefully. And let's see if we can get him back. Okay, well, hopefully he'll call back and we'll try it one more time. Definitely going to start looking at some different players that we should be trying to go for, or hopefully we'll be able to try and get. Let me see if I can get him on. Can you hear me, John? The only thing is I can't hear you. Can you say something, John?
Hello?
Oh, there we go. Okay. Everybody, sorry about tonight. Tonight is technical difficulties because I'm old and technology challenged and I'm trying to get used to the new equipment and stuff. Everybody, I want you guys to welcome John Gardner to our show. He live streamed with me during the Eagles game, suffering through an Eagles victory. And John used to go to Howard University and played football there, and he is actually going to be one of our draft experts. John, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing? I was tuning in a little bit. I tuned in long enough to see Rico making a fool of himself.
Man, you know, when you start thinking of, you had a concussion and were out for 8 weeks, so I'm thinking about all the music, all the head shaking and everything else. You must be 100% healed. And putting himself out there on Front Street, I'm kind of like, you know, that's one of those ones you need to kind of tone down a little bit. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see what everybody else makes of that one. And maybe he'll come back ready to go next year.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, it's draft time, and if you want to make a fool of yourself, this is the easiest way to get replaced.
Amen to that. I can't. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on in Dallas because, you know, first we got the Brice Butler situation, and you had Jesse Holley who basically said, hold up, you don't believe your own hype there, buddy, because you haven't been all that. And now you've got my man over here dropping the single. He was doing the whole Instagram thing tonight, and, you know, F this, F that. And I'm like, damn, he's just kind of really just putting it all out there. So I'm not really sure what is going on.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, and I was listening to the show a little bit earlier when you were talking about all of the coaching carousel and how many coaches we need.
Yeah.
And it kind of got me thinking, like, I mean, they said, I remember Jerry saying at one point that he loved the coaching staff and there's no better coaching staff that he'd rather have here, but then you start getting rid of all these guys, and it makes me think, like, if you're going to just get rid of and gut the whole coaching staff, why not just start from the top so that whoever comes in can pick their own guys?
Well, there's a lot to be said for that because basically it's looking like you've got Jason Garrett, You got Scott Linehan, maybe Rod Martinelli, but he's still contemplating retirement. So, yeah, if you love the staff so much, you kind of let everybody say, okay, if you want to leave and walk away and get another job, go ahead. Which is at least better than saying you're fired. It looks better on a resume if you said I left of my own accord, but in essence, you really did kind of fire everybody. Like I said, my hope is maybe bringing in some new position guys. Maybe some of the coaching can go back and forth and up some. So maybe some fresh eyes with some different ideas will work their way together collectively. I mean, it's all I got right now. Maybe you got a different idea than I do.
So what I'm hoping is that this doesn't affect the draft the way that I think that it could, because obviously I've been tuning into some draft shows and stuff, and the coaches definitely have an input in the draft room. So maybe there's some guys on this roster that we think can play, but some of these new coaches that are coming in, they don't necessarily gel too well with who we have. So
true on that. Somebody was asking if they think that Alfred Morris is coming back next year. I think Alfred Morris is going to be able to command a good chunk of change with what he showed with our offense. I mean, he was averaging 4.7 yards a carry, and I think the Cowboys will probably look at getting somebody late in the draft as another running back. I mean, that's just my thoughts. Do you think anything different than that?
To be completely honest, I think that Darren McFadden really disappointed those guys. The guy Alfred was pretty much insurance, and he came in and he was pretty steady and he was good for us. So for me, I definitely agree with what you're saying. I think that he's going to go elsewhere, and the team will probably start young, fresh at the position behind Zeke.
Well, here's an interesting thought from an Eagle fan, if there's such a thing. They said Jason Garrett was the reigning coach of the year, and we're talking about running him out of town, shaking his head. You must not really follow the Cowboys that much. I mean, Jason Garrett got coach of the year because
It was all about Dallas Cowboys.
it was all about the players that were there that stayed healthy. I honestly can't say that I can honestly say there's one thing that Jason Garrett puts a stamp on that you can say we won because of him. Maybe you think differently, John.
And you know what, Clarence, who's going to be an integral part going forward. We always talk about this. We're never at a coaching advantage in any game that we're going into, unless we're playing the Redskins. We're never in a coaching advantage.
Well, it seems I hate to say this, but watching the Atlanta game, I felt like we were watching the Cowboys because we find more ways to lose games in the end than winning them. And I was sitting here looking at them, first down on the 8 or the 9 yard line. You had a man was running at 79 yards on 10 carries, and here it was, pass on first down, pass on second down, pass on third down, and finally fourth down, they don't get in. Had they run on that first down the way they were running the ball, the Eagles were gassed. I think they would have at least had a chance, and that's something the Cowboys always do, is rely on the damn pass too damn much.
Yeah, I agree. In that situation, it's just simple football. The Eagles have one timeout. You're at the 7-8 yard line. You have two timeouts. So run the football, make them burn their timeout, because if you do score fast,
right,
they don't have any more timeouts on the other side. So
right.
Make them burn the timeout.
Yeah.
And worst, if they don't burn the timeout, then you run the clock. You still have two timeouts. You control your destiny down there at the goal line. You throw the ball 3 times.
You're preaching to the choir on that one. And it was just like us against Seattle. It was the same thing. First down and 3 with Zeke Elliott back and healthy, and we passed the ball. Second down, second and 2. Again, pass the ball. And it's just like, damn, what the hell are we thinking? And that's the thing that drives me, is the play calling. It's not creative. You don't see very much razzle and dazzle. You don't see any bunch formations. Hell, you don't even see putting Dez in a different position like in the slot or anything. It's just the same basic formations, basically the same calls, and it's easy to pick apart.
Well, I think that partially part of it is what we're going to talk about a little bit later, which is
Mm-hmm.
our needs in the draft. Maybe we don't have a guy that we can move around in bunch formations and can line up here, line up there. Doesn't matter where you're lining up. You can run any type of route on the field. Maybe that's something that we need. We've been talking about that quite a bit at the receiver position.
Yeah, somebody just had brought up the exact point about Des Bryant, because people are saying, "Oh, we'll just trade him. We'll get a second or first round pick for him." Nobody's going to trade.
This doesn't matter.
Nobody's going to trade for that contract. $16.5 million. I mean, if you wouldn't trade for Tony Romo, with the lack of quarterbacks in the NFL, you think you're going to trade for a $16 million wide receiver that hasn't been staying healthy? No, that ain't going to happen. Unfortunately, unless Jerry decides to keep him, which I don't think he will, he's going to be a post-June 1st cut, so at least we save $12 million in cap room. But anyway, I've talked too much. What do you have for me tonight as far as the draft going?
All right, cool. So I've been doing a little bit of digging, but the main thing that I want to do and leave the people with tonight, because we got until April, so we can dive into a lot of players.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to kind of touch on our needs and what might be a luxury in this draft. And my top 5 needs are obviously the wide receiver position. Another one that I think people may or may not agree with me on this one, but I think that a tackle / guard, maybe be a swing type person to come in. I mean, if you could find somebody at 19 that falls, that can probably play both, you could have that person slide in there and have possibly Jonathan Cooper as the swing guard, where that makes your roster a little bit better. Outside backer, well, maybe not an outside backer, maybe an inside type guy that can play the Sam, since we're going to have a couple of linebackers that looks like they won't be on the roster next year. Safety position. I've been saying safety for the last, I don't know, since Darren Woodson retired.
I was going to say since Darren Woodson, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the last one, the 5th, you kind of disagree with me a little bit on this one, but I think that a defensive tackle, I personally think a 3 technique. As you can see in the Eagles game, you can see in the Jacksonville game, you can dictate a lot with the pressure coming inside, pushing the pocket in front of your quarterback. Because if you can't step up and make your throws in the playoffs, it's pretty tough. It actually doesn't matter what part of the year. If your quarterback can't get comfortable back there and be on the spot, has to move off his spot, then it's a tough day for him anyway. So that can only make us better.
I won't disagree with that, but I'll look and say we've got some places I would have to hit first.
Absolutely.
Tonight I'm wearing the Hall of Fame shirt of Larry Allen. And Larry Allen is the type of guy you want to have, because Larry Allen not only played for 12 years, but he played on every position on the Dallas Cowboys line at some point, with the exception of center. And if you can get a guy who can basically be a swing tackle and guard, who will be hopefully a future Hall of Famer, but a guy who can fill in wherever we need, then you've hit gold. Because we had problems at guard to begin the season, and then of course when Tyron Smith went down, and when Lyle Collins was a little bit hurt too. So we need a guy who can definitely go all the way around. I think we need, either be a free agency or through the draft, we need a speedy receiver. We need somebody that you got to say, we got to stop him because he can go to the house.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt, because that's what's missing in our offense. We can grind out with Zeke Elliott and stuff, but the problem is the field is getting so short in my mind because nobody can get downfield. Cole Beasley isn't really a deep wide receiver. He's a slot guy. Terrence Williams, well, he's up and down with, the catches and bouncing them all over the place. Brice Butler, I'm not sure what he's thinking. And Des Bryant, has just kind of got those nagging injuries and stuff, and I think he is still on the downside of his career. But if we can get a guy, to me, that is a speedster, a guy who is a game changer, it's going to make all those other guys better. Definitely linebacker. We may need to look at free agency on that one and not bargain basement shop like we've been doing. But we definitely have to get another linebacker in there. Preferably, like you said, a middle linebacker. Jalen Smith, and some people are out there saying they think Jalen Smith's going to be the real deal, and I'm hoping that he is. But we're still banking on that foot to heal 100%. And the problem with that is the longer it takes to heal, the less chance it heals completely. And we are now a couple years into that. So it may be this is as far as that foot goes. Hey, he played well for what he had, basically being on one leg. But you got to make sure you have some insurance in there. And like you said, safety. Damn, we need a safety. And I was watching Church, with Jacksonville and seeing him hit. And that's where we can kind of second guess about Jalen Ramsey versus Zeke Elliott, or Miles Jack versus Jalen Smith, because you see those guys are all integral parts of that defense. And I think that defense
it all starts up front, though. It all starts up front with Jacksonville. I mean, Jalen Ramsey is the real deal, but for the most part, other than him, it really starts up front.
My boy, shout out to Calais Campbell, and I'm hoping that they go ahead and lay the wood to Tom Brady. I would love to see Jacksonville versus Minnesota in the Super Bowl. I know it's not two big name markets or anything like that, and I know the Eagle trolls are giving me the finger right now, but hell, they always give me the finger. But I do not want to see a repeat of the Jacksonville Super Bowl from 2004, Eagles versus the New England. No, can't do it.
You know what? I want the Jacksonville Jaguars to kind of. I think if they win, it'd be a good thing, because if you think about it, it would just be a backup quarterback Super Bowl, and that would be really good for the game, because I think that the quarterback position is super overvalued today, and I think that good rosters have been winning in these playoffs, and if we could somehow get it back to the game of football instead of glorifying all of these quarterbacks, I would love that.
Well, Andy Jones is saying Earl Thomas as far as safety goes. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? I told you I would love Earl Thomas, and to be completely honest, that's probably one of my priorities in the offseason. I'm looking up how I can free up some money to bring in Earl Thomas. And
I know how we can free up some money.
The number one thing I'm thinking is you got to find a way to cut Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant can't be on the books, and we have Earl Thomas at the same time.
No, I agree 100% on that one. No, that's part of it. You can get basically $12 million right there. Somebody else that I think might be going would be Tyrone Crawford. Because you can say basically.
That's why I said a three technique.
Yeah, he definitely. I mean, four sacks this season. He stayed healthy and everything else. He's a nice piece, but is he worth $9 million? Is the question. I think Orlando.
We didn't even pay Hatcher. And he did way better.
So, well, Hatcher did way better one season. Hatcher was a 3-4 sack a season guy till that contract year we had 11. Got paid and then didn't bust a grape for the Redskins. So, and he was getting long in the tooth there too. But you're right. So I think Orlando Scandrick will probably be going too, which would be about another $3 million. And I've said before, I'm not sure that Cole Beasley will be back.
Well, I would love to have Cole Beasley if we can find another guy to help create matchup problems. And that's what we haven't had. Our offense doesn't create matchup problems unless it's our front line just straight up bullying somebody. Right now, Cole Beasley, you got a guy who's attracting a double team in the slot. That's not necessarily his fault if his number one guy can't get open.
Well, Jose says T.J. Watt over Taco. Well, one thing I'll say on that is T.J. Watt got about twice the snaps of Taco. And Taco was thought to be a project to begin with. And I think the Cowboys kind of reached for him. But the reason why they didn't go for T.J. Watt is they have this build, and they like taller defensive ends. T.J. Watt was a little shorter than what the Cowboys like as far as defensive ends. Sometimes you end up having, you look at a guy and say, oh, man, he's 6'4", he's got the build, and he's a quarterback. And he doesn't bust a grape. But then you have somebody like Drew Brees that's 5'10" on a good day who ends up being a great quarterback. So sometimes you have to get out of that, stereotypical, this is exactly what we have to get. We're not going to settle for anything but that. But I think Taco is going to be okay. 3 sacks over his last 5 games. Give the man some time to learn, to work in the system. He was just a rookie. At least that's my thoughts.
Yeah, and I could be completely wrong, but isn't T.J. Watt an outside backer in the Pittsburgh
Yeah, he is.
24 scheme?
It's really a different position. That's yeah, from what we're doing. Yes, and he had
Yeah,
twice the reps of what Taco had. Okay, let's see what else we got in here, because the time has flown by tonight. Wow. Um, Dak is definitely not going anywhere. Because, guys, here's the thing. When we look at our team right now, because I've seen some people say, oh, let's go get Kirk Cousins, who's going to be about $30 million. And if you think Kirk Cousins is worth $30 million, you're crazy. We're actually fortunate that Dak Prescott is basically $600,000 next year, because that gives us the opportunity to try and get some talent and get some people on this team before we have to pay the man. And here's the other thing you have to look at for all you guys that are saying, oh, well, he's garbage. Think about it. Next season is almost like a contract year, because they don't want him to become a free agent. He's going to get his contract done by the end of next year. So this is, in essence, is a contract year for him. And I guarantee you he's going to be playing balls out. Wouldn't you agree on that?
I totally agree. Totally agree.
Okay.
We just got to give him some help. That's just me, and I believe that coaching is the number one. Get him some help. Get him some mentorship.
Okay, well, before we get out of here, John, I'm going to give the microphone to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about your plans of working with the Joe Boo Sports Report.
Okay, a little bit about me. I love the game of football. As Mark said, I played at Howard University. Throughout my life, I played since I was 6 years old all the way up to 22 years old, to the point right now where I do work a corporate job, but I give back by coaching football to a local high school in Arlington, Virginia, Wakefield High School. And really, my passion is to really just break down the game, watch a lot of film. And what I plan to bring to this is pretty much me and Clarence, we talk about guys all the time. He's always asking me to give him people to look at. So that's what I want to do for this show. I want to pretty much give a different perspective of what people may not be thinking with the draft. I mean, you might always say, I want this guy, but you never think that other teams are thinking the same thing. So you got to have a backup plan, plan B, plan C, all of that. So pretty much I'm just going to offer some strategic thinking with the draft going forward.
And that sounds fantastic, man. Thank you for tuning in tonight, and I look forward to seeing you on a regular basis. Everybody, I appreciate everybody going through and dealing with the problems that we had on air. I'm not sure what happened with the sound earlier, but I'll practice and I'll get better with it. Like I said, it's a new computer, so I had to load the software for OSB, and OSB is upgraded since my last computer and everything else, so then everything is a little bit different, and then I get the sound mixer and stuff like that. But over the course of the next few weeks and stuff, we're going to really be able to do some fantastic stuff on here, and we will be broadcasting live from Minneapolis starting next Friday night. So friends, I appreciate the support. Domingo, congratulations on the shirt. Be sure to email me at cowboysmark94 at gmail.com with your address so I can get that to you. And anybody else who does any donations, will be doing a drawing again next week as well to help support the channel. Thank you very much, John. I'll see you later, and I'll see you guys. Have a great day, and be careful.